allegedly Christmas market attack in France, reportedly God is great. God is great as he committed this heinous act.
President Trump responding moments ago, tweeting this. Another very bad terror attack in France. We're going to strengthen our borders Chuck and Nancy must give us the votes to get additional votes to get additional border security.
Ryan Chilcote is live in our London bureau as the search intensifies now. Ryan, they still haven't found him.
They have hundreds of security agents hunting for that gunman right now. They've also stepped up security. They've also stepped up security at the Christmas market itself, around Strasbourg, and right on France is border with Germany, with some speculating that he may have fled into Germany. The police have also identified the suspect. They say his name is Sharif Sheikh. They say his name is Sharif Sheikh. 29 years old, and that he was born in Strasbourg. They also say that he was known to security services as a possible terrorist threat. He's been in and out of jail. He's been in and out of jail. Repeatedly convicted 27 times over the last several years for various crimes. The police also say he's injured, and that he was shot in one of the two firefights. The police and army engaged immediately following the attack. As you were saying, the police say Shaukat Shah as he opened fire. 8 p.m. What is France's biggest Christmas party? You can imagine how packed it was. Extremely popular, attracting more than a million visitors a year. This is not the first time a European Christmas market has been struck. Berlin's Christmas market was hit by an assailant in 2016. Remember that? The assailant drove a car into the Christmas market, killing 12 people. And this very Christmas market, unbelievably, in 2000 was targeted by some al-Qaeda terrorists. They, however, was foiled by the police before they were able to pull it off. They weren't so lucky this time.
All right, Ryan Chilcote joining us from our London Bureau. Because of the potential for an attack. Plenty of security around it. The guy was able to get in there and did the shooting before he was shot. Reportedly, according to the taxi driver, he commandeered a taxi. I'll tell you exactly where I dropped him off. And he was bleeding. And he was bleeding.
Right. So that's good news. He's bleeding. That's good news. He's trailing. Hopefully he's suffering. But the fact that he goes out and says God is great and there's 30 attacks in France. 30 attacks in France. I don't know what if I was a French citizen, I would be just flabbergasted that my government's allowing this to happen. Whatever the law enforcement procedure is, they're on their back foot. They seem to be reacting to everything instead of being proactive.
The guy's from the Strasbourg area. He knows this area. He knows that it's a tourist. He knows that it's a destination for folks, especially around Christmas time, especially around Christmas time. Very popular place. It's a very popular place. To go out there and to target individuals who are just trying to celebrate the season.
This is breaking news out of France. We had the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on this couch 30 minutes ago. And here's his observation about what is happening over there. Could be a problem here as well.
Terror, we all need to be mindful. Everywhere Europe has got an enormous Christmas market. This was a Christmas market has been attacked because although the facts are still developing. These are real risks. These are real risks. We have this problem here in the United States as well. Lots of folks that we're watching, we think are at risk. We try to monitor, but the numbers are so big. Border security matters too. These are related issues. These are related issues in the sense of we need to know who's coming in and out of our country.
The back half of that soundbite was referring to the fact that this particular alleged assailant was known to police. He was on a terror watch list. He was on a terror watch list. He was so-called known wolf. And yet he was able to pull this off.
Same thing with Britain. Same thing with the same issue. And both are looking at major international crises on a different scale.
He was behind bars in Germany last year for robbery. Then he was deported to France. And he was under surveillance. And he was previously imprisoned in France for stabbing a teenager. That he became radicalized. That's why they were watching him. That's why they went to his house. He wasn't there. They went to his house. He wasn't there. They found grenades. Then he went to the Christmas market allegedly.
We covered an array of topics with the Secretary of State online. We'll probably have the whole thing online at FoxandFriends.com. We had a chance to talk to him about it. He's firmly in her corner. Believes that she's the right person for the job. She's the right person for the job. Tough confirmation hearing. He's seen a lot in the last 2 years. She'd be perfect for the
experienced Ivy League, trained in television, trained in television, and has been working for the government for years now.
And she's also tough as nails.
We also asked him a little bit about that exchange with Nancy Pelosi and the president. Here's the setup. They went to the White House to negotiate the amount of money that they're going to give the president. Nancy Pelosi would like to give him as little as possible, as is the case with Chuck Schumer. The president says, look, I'm willing to shut down the whole government unless I get the money. If you missed it, here's about a minute's worth of yesterday's festivities in the Oval.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government, shut down the government, and you want to shut it down. And you want to shut it down.
The last time you shut it down.
No.
You shut it down. And then you open it. I don't want to do what you did. I don't want to do what you did.
20 times shut down the government if I don't get my will. If I don't get my will. None of us have said it.
You want to put that on my say. You know what I'll say?
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say?
If we don't get what we want,
one way or the other, whether it's through you, whether it's through you, anything you want to call, anything you want to call, I will shut down the government. And I am proud. And I am proud to shut down the government for border security, because the people of this country don't want criminals that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle.
I just can't believe if you see how uncomfortable Chuck Schumer looks, that anyone thinks that President Trump didn't get the better of these two. I thought he used to negotiating where people are watching. He does it every day.
They didn't want it.
He does it every day.
They didn't want it.
And the thing is, if you support President Trump, well, that's exactly what I hope you would do. We don't need a person inside source to say it got fiery and such and such and such and such this and such. Everybody denies it actually took place. We actually see it out in front. We actually see it out in front. So there's nothing to hide. This is exactly how the president feels. Instead of wondering what's going to happen. Instead of wondering what's going to happen. Nancy Pelosi was just as aggressive. Only she does it in a more diplomatic, more aggressive way. The president goes aggressive. The president goes aggressive. She just sits there and needles and leaves it out there. He does not leave anything out. He does not leave anything out.
They were all in their separate corners. The Democrats feel do not want to build a wall. That's their political position. And they do not want to give the President of the United States a win on this, which is curious because when you roll back the tape, and we're going to show you a little montage and show you a prominent Democrats over the last couple of years. They were actually what the president is for now before they became not wanting to give him a win. Watch this.
I voted numerous times when I was a senator to spend money to build a barrier to try to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in. And I do think you have to control your borders.
An illegal alien should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally. The American people will never accept immigration unless they truly believe that their government is committed to ending future illegal immigration.
Because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we cannot allow people to pour into the U.S. undetected, undocumented, and unchecked.
You know, they say the president says some things that they don't think were accurate. For Senator Schumer to say that he is not for the wall, what changed from 2009 to 2018? The situation has only got more illegals. And for those people who say it's being inflated, we have some video in Tijuana to show.
What changed was,
so make them answer that. So make them answer that.
Republican was elected. Right. I wish he would have said that. Right. I wish he would have said that to them.
Why did you say this?
Well, listen, around the world. There are a number of countries that have walls, and we have the Secretary of State sitting right next to Brian a little bit ago. We need the wall. Watch.
This is a real national security issue for the United States of America, so the United States of America, so it shouldn't surprise you that the State Department is involved, trying to make sure that we do what the President said, which is to have control. We have to have the capacity to control entry into our country, everywhere, airports and ports. But most importantly today, at the southern border, and a wall is a vital component. It's a vital component. Do all the things we need to do to control the flow of people into our country in a way that is lawful.
Who else has an issue? Brazil has an issue. Brazil has an issue, because Colombia has an issue, because people of Venezuela and these other countries are pouring into their country. So there's some outrage there. Not that anyone has anything against other countries. They just want to have control. They just want to have control who comes. Hungary's an example. As soon as they saw that migrant from the Middle East, they put up a fence immediately. They said, we need to control this. Germany did this. Germany did political violence.
The new president of Mexico trying to work out some sort of a deal so that those folks who are close to the border can have asylum in Mexico.
So let's see if Congress does dedicate any money to the wall. And if they do not, don't be surprised if the President of the United States tries to. Heard from the Secretary of State. It's a national security.
So far, the Pentagon spokespeople have said we have not been approached about doing that. Meanwhile, I've approached Jillian about doing the news. She has not answered me yet.
I'm waiting patiently. That's a solid yes.
That's a yes?
All right, we do start with this Fox News alert right now. Theresa May facing a critical vote from office. That could remove her from office. The British Prime Minister is vowing to fight.
A change of leadership in the Conservative Party will put our country's future and create uncertainty when we can least afford it.
Her Conservative Party will vote tonight in light of the Brexit delay. 150 lawmakers say they need 158 votes to remain in power. If May loses, she'll have to step down. Police releasing the last known video of a missing mother. Kelsey Barrett walking into a Colorado supermarket with her baby daughter on Thanksgiving. Her fiance was the last person to see her when he picked up the baby later that afternoon. A few days later, Kelsey's phone was detected 800 miles away. Her makeup and suitcases all left untouched. Police have not identified any suspects. Well, looks like Betomania is running wild. According to a MoveOn.org straw poll, Beto O'Rourke is the left's top 2020 presidential candidate. He's narrowly beating Vice President Joe Biden by less than 18%. But nearly 18% of people either don't know or they want to run, or someone not included on that list of 30 people. So a Marine thought he was just taking a picture with his family after finishing boot camp. But when he took a closer look at the snapshot, he could not believe his eyes. Jamil Brown's shocked to see his girlfriend Giovanna photobombing his family. He didn't think she could make the trip to Paris Island, South Carolina. 10 days later, Brown surprised her with a proposal. They are both Marines and very happy. So
perfect. Thanks so much, Jillian.
Google CEO was in the hot seat denying that his company censors. Congressman Darrell Issa was in the room. Is there bias at Google?
Well, there's bias in the outcome. And that's been demonstrated time and time again. The question is it leads to a bias? And it leads to a bias. And that was one of the questions we asked him to go back and look at. If you see disparity, can you trace it back to find out whether software that can be improved to eliminate that, or whether in fact in some cases it might be a programmer with a little idea of how to give one party or the other an edge.
There's a headline on the editorial page right now. It says Google needs Republicans are too busy screaming about bias. We heard your side talk about bias yesterday, but does Google need to be regulated?
Well, I think the whole question is a question for evaluation and broad regulation.
Remember that every time your phone passes through both cellular signals and Wi-Fi signals, everybody in that network is detecting your MAC address, meaning you're being tracked. Every time you turn on an app, for example, one that tells you when you say I want the nearest restaurant, you're giving up where you are, or he's not going to tell you where the nearest restaurant is. Figuring out what the do's and don'ts are, transparently you and I know whether we're being tracked or not, and we're getting a service for it. And more importantly, having transparency
transparency within the system is important, and we're not getting it right now. And we're not getting
Yesterday was a down payment.
Yesterday was a down payment.
Real quick exit question, though. Regarding bias, does Google have their thumb on the scale?
Google needs to really soul search independently with those outcomes and see where the problem is coming from. Because there is a problem. There's been plenty of examples. But I think we have to eliminate the idea that it's willful bias. Instead look for how these outcomes come that way. And that's what he was charged to do yesterday, and said he would go back and look at.
If he makes a return appearance. Representative Darrell Issa, sir, thank you very much for joining us live.
Thanks, Steve.
Meanwhile, 8:20 here in New York City. 8:20 here in New York City.
It's crazy.
The video is crazy. A convict, look at this. A convict, prosecutors inside a courtroom. The reason behind that outburst. And President Trump telling Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi why we need a border White House Oval Office meeting. Our next guest protects the border every day. Protects the border.
Border security, new border wall, which is wasteful and doesn't solve the problem. It totally solves the problem.
And it does. Just ask the people in San Diego. So do we need a wall? I want to ask somebody who sees these issues firsthand. The Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cueto. So who's right?
President Trump is right. President Trump is right.
What can I say?
He's spoken to the members of the National Border Patrol Council. We've gone back and forth. We've explained what the needs are. To be honest, it's very frustrating to see some of these individuals. I heard Nancy Pelosi say that it was a political thing. I can assure you it's not. I would put the shoe on the other individual and say it is more political for those individuals. And it's frustrating to see him pondering their political needs at the price of putting security of Americans and not just even Americans, but it's these liberal policies of border security that has caused a lot of these individuals to continue the trek to our southern border, putting children and women in the hands of cartel members. If they're going to turn around and attack the president and say, it's your fault for this, or it's your fault you want to shut down, then they need to assume responsibility that it's their fault, that when there's a crime committed in the United States by an illegal alien that enters our country, when these women and children are put in the hands of the cartel members.
When you watched that fiery exchange inside the Oval Office, what was your assessment?
It was frustrating because having spoken to the president before and explained the needs that we have down here on the border. Down here on the southern border, my entire life. I grew up down here my entire life. If Nancy Pelosi, if Chuck Schumer want to see the dangers, you know what? You got an open invitation. You know what? You got an open invitation. Come on down here. At least exchange ideas with us, because they haven't spoken to members of the National Border Patrol Council.
By the way, the numbers to border apprehensions in 2018 are up 30%. Are up 30%. They're just shy of 400,000. So apprehensions in 2018 are 107,000 families, and with 50,000 unaccompanied minors. Why do people think that this is not an issue? That this is not an issue? That this is politics? No, it reminds me of politics. Democrats on the record, saying the same thing President Trump is saying, but because President Trump is saying it, they don't agree. Put Senator Schumer in 2009, his words exactly what President Trump says in 2018.
They're blinded by their anger toward one person, that blindness has led them to not care about the American public.
Right.
That's
and
the
just
reality.
Quick thing, right. The president has set a solid wall. He has set a solid wall all the way through. You guys have certain areas you don't need anything. There's certain areas you don't need anything. And there's certain areas you want to see through. Because you want to see through. Need a solid wall. Other areas need a solid wall. So he has shown flexibility.
It has been proven. It has been proven where you put a better security on these borders. It detains a lot of the individuals crossing. And once again, I'll say it. If these politicians want to sit there and say that they don't want the wall, or say that it's a waste of money, it's a waste of money. Every time an American citizen dies, it's on their heads. It's on their hands. And every time one of these individuals trying to cross into this country illegally is put in harm's way. is put in harm's way at the hands of the cartels. That is also on them.
We hear from those angel moms.
We hear from those angel moms.
We understand what you're saying. Thanks so much, Art. Thanks so much, Art. Appreciate it. Ambassador Nikki Haley. Ambassador Nikki Haley. To go about her working relationship with President Trump. What she just revealed about the administration's strategy at the UN.
Interesting. And Tom Shalhoub. Christmas and movies this morning. It has not gone well. It has not gone well. We're going to find out.
The United Nations react to whatever the President of the United States says. Actually worked. Actually worked. Watch.
He would ratchet up the rhetoric, and then I'd go back to ambassadors and say, he's pretty upset. I can't promise you what he's going to do or not, but I can tell you if we do these sanctions, it will keep him from going too far. I was trying to get the job done. And I got the job done by being truthful, but also by letting him be unpredictable, and not showing our cards.
And you know what she's doing right there? She is revealing right there. She is revealing. Oftentimes people go, I cannot believe that the President of the United States would say this about that. Essentially what she's revealing, known it for a while, his comments are part of the negotiation process. He'll say one thing, interface with whatever the say something item is, say something else, try to get together. Good thing for the country. Good thing for the country.
Let Trump be Trump. Part of the deal. And I'll take what he says, and I'll take what he says, and I'll get side.
Yeah, you heard him. You heard what he said. You heard what he said. If we don't get a deal,
my problem is, and the ambassador may be going, but the president may be going, but the president isn't.
Why give away the strategy?
I would take that to your best-selling book in 2 years.
Well, because he's heard Heather now. Because he's heard Heather now. Confirmed. Most people expect her to be. Most people expect her to be. But if she gets confirmed now, all of a sudden she can't play that card. Hey, I know what you're doing. Hey, I know what you're doing.
But he's going to continue to do that.
He's going to continue to do that because he's always like, scenario. Okay, worst case scenario, you don't do the deal, which is true, which is what we saw yesterday, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. I mean, that was Chuck Schumer. I mean, that was exactly what. And that's exactly what.
I like hearing
the curtain, but it doesn't help. But it doesn't. Now the strategy's been blown. Now the strategy's been blown. You told them the defense knows you're running. The defense knows you're running. We've known this was his strategy. We've known this was his strategy all along. Why didn't she tell? No, you mean she told us not the Today Show? She told us not the Today Show. People have been saying that's just a strategy. That's just a strategy. That's how we don't know who's going to toss the Jillian. We don't know who's going to toss the Jillian. I know. It's going to be Inslee. I know. It's going to be Inslee.
Okay, fine. I didn't know.
Okay, fine. I didn't know. I guess so.
We have a strategy.
Jillian,
we'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. A Fox News alert now. We know the names of the 5 American heroes who died in a midair collision off the coast of Japan. The Department of Defense identifying them as Lieutenant Colonel Major James Brophy, Major James Sergeant Maximo Flores, Corporal Daniel Baker, and Corporal they range in age from 21 to 38. The search for the Marines was suspended earlier this week. A convicted child abuser lunges at prosecutors the moment he learns his fate. Watch this.
You mean to tell me.
Terrain Woods jumping out of his chair after a Las Vegas judge said he could spend more than 20 years behind bars. The woman you heard screaming is his mother. Was convicted of beating a 13-month-old and nearly killing him. So how about this? California could soon tax state regulators want to charge mobile phone users to help fund programs that make phone service accessible to low-income residents. Charges may also be applied retroactively to messages sent in the past 5 years. The state's Utilities Commission is scheduled to vote on the proposal. Critics call it dumb. And unfair. Headlines. A lot of noise going on downstairs.
Julie, we're getting ready for a game show. It sounds like there's an emergency. This Christmas spirit by testing our knowledge all about things Christmas.
So how well do we know our Christmas? Based on how we've done over the last few days, probably not so well.
Here to put our skills to the test is comedian and host of the quiz show Tom Shalhoub. The quiz show Tom Shalhoub, who also has a fantastic radio show.
Welcome back, Tom Shalhoub.
So we had movies now. Christmas characters. Are you guys ready? If you buzz in early, you're not going to get the benefit of ABC. I'm going to give you ABC. I'm going to give you.
We should finish the question. Okay, so we have to finish C, right? You're doing ABC.
This title character starred sequels between 1976 and 2005. Frosty the Snowman, or the Little Drummer Boy.
Hey, Frosty the Snowman.
Let's see if
if you're right.
Frosty the Snowman was a jolly, happy little playpen and wiles and made out of coal.
When you get stuck in the hot house, all you see is the pipe, and the
Really is.
Better than that.
It was very sad. It was very sad. No spoiler alert. Stay watching till the end. Stay watching till the end. Okay, because there's a happy ending.
Question number 2.
In a Charlie Brown Christmas, which character goes with Charlie Brown to get the Christmas tree? Is it Linus? Lucy or Schroeder? Brian, you finally buzzed in. Linus. Let's see if you're right. Let's see if you're right.
This little green one here. This green one here seems to me. I don't know, Charlie Brown. I don't know, Charlie Brown. He said. Remember what Lucy said? This doesn't seem to fit the modern spirit. I don't care. I don't care. And it'll be just right for our play. Just right for our play.
Bad move. Don't bad tree.
Wait, which one was Schroeder? The one that was the piano guy. The piano guy. That's right.
And he would be in the camp.
I like that little tree.
How about Woodstock?
What's the name of the elf? What's the name of the elf? Who dreams of pursuing a career in dentistry and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Hermes or Hank?
The man allegedly Christmas market attack in France, reportedly shouted, "God is great." God is great. As he committed this
President Trump responding moments ago, tweeting this. Another very bad terror attack in France. We are going to strengthen our borders. Chuck and Nancy must give us the votes to get additional border security.
Ryan Chilcote is live in our London bureau as the search for the suspect. Ryan, they still haven't found him. Ryan, they still haven't found him.
They have hundreds of security agents hunting for that gunman right now. They've also stepped up security. They've also stepped up security at the Christmas market itself, around Strasbourg, and right on Strasbourg, France is bordered with Germany, with some speculating that he may have fled into Germany. The police have also identified the suspect. They say his name is Sharif Sheikhat. He's 29 years old, and that he was born in Strasbourg. They also say that he was known to security services as a possible terrorist threat. He's been in and out of jail repeatedly, repeatedly convicted 27 times over the last several years for various crimes. The police also say he's injured, and that he was shot in one of the two firefights. The police and army engaged with him immediately following the attack. As you were saying, the police say Sheikhat shot as he opened fire. 8 p.m. What is France's biggest Christmas market? You can imagine how packed it was. Extremely popular. It's extremely popular. Attracting more than a million visitors a year. This is not the first time a European Christmas market has been struck. Berlin's Christmas market was hit by an assailant in 2016. Remember that? The assailant drove a car into the Christmas market, killing 12 people. And this very Christmas market, unbelievably, in 2000 was targeted by some terrorists. They, however, was foiled by the police before they were able to pull it off. They weren't so lucky this time.
All right, Ryan Chilcote joining us from our London Bureau. Because of the potential for an attack. Plenty of security around it. The guy was able to get in there. Did the shooting before he was shot. Reportedly, the taxi driver, he commandeered a taxi. I'll tell you exactly where I dropped him off. And he was bleeding. And he was bleeding.
Right. So that's good news. He's bleeding. That's good news. He's bleeding. Hopefully he's suffering. But the fact that he goes out and says God is great, and there's 30 attacks in France. 30 attacks in France. I don't know what if I was a French citizen, I would be just flabbergasted that my government's allowing this to happen. Whatever the law enforcement procedure is, they're on their back foot. They seem to be reacting to everything instead of being proactive.
Instead of being proactive. The guy's so infuriating. The guy's from the Strasbourg area. He knows that it's a tourist. He knows that it's a destination for folks, especially around Christmas time, especially around Christmas time, because the Christmas market is a very popular place. To go out there and to target individuals who are just trying to celebrate the season.
This is breaking news out of France. We had the Secretary of State for the United States of America, Mike Pompeo, on this couch 30 minutes ago. And here's his observation about what is happening over there. Could be a problem here as well.
Terror, we all need to be mindful. We all need to be mindful. Everywhere Europe has got an enormous Christmas market. This was a Christmas market been attacked. This appears to have been attacked because, although the facts are still developing, these are real risks. These are real risks. We have this problem here in the United States as well. Lots of folks that we're watching, we think are at risk. We try to monitor, but the numbers are so big. Border security matters too. Border security matters too. These are related issues in the sense that we need to know who's coming in and out of our country.
The back half of that soundbite was referring to the fact that this particular alleged assailant was known to police. He was on a terror watch list. He was on a terror watch list. He was so-called known wolf. And yet he was able to pull this off.
Same thing with Britain. Same thing with same issue. And both looking at major international crises on a different.
The guy served. He was behind bars in Germany. He was behind bars in Germany last year for robbery. Then he was deported to France. He was under surveillance. And he was under previously imprisoned. And previously for stabbing a teenager. And for stabbing a teenager. Radicalized. He became radicalized. That's why they were watching him. That's why they went to his house. He wasn't there. They went to his house. He wasn't there. They found grenades. Then he went to the Christmas market allegedly.
We covered an array of topics with the Secretary of State. With the Secretary of State online. I'll probably have the whole thing online at FoxandFriends.com. Off camera, we had a chance to talk to him about our former colleague Heather Nauert. He's firmly in her corner, believes that she's the right person for the job. She's the right person for the job. Tough confirmation hearing. He's seen a lot in the last 2 years. She'd be perfect for the position.
Ivy League experience, trained in television, and has been working for the government for years now.
And she's also tough as nails.
We also asked him a little bit about that exchange Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the president. Here's the setup. They went to the White House to negotiate the amount of money that they're going to give the president for Nancy Pelosi would like to give him as little as possible, as is the case with Chuck Schumer. The president says, look, I'm willing to shut down the whole government the money. If you missed it, here's about a minute's worth of yesterday's festivities in the Oval.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. And you want to shut it down.
You shut it down. No. And then you open it. And then you open it. I don't want to do what you did. I don't want to do what you did.
20 times shut down the government if I don't get my will. If I don't get my will. None of us have said.
You want to I'll put that on my say. You know what I'll say?
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, whether it's military, anything you want to call, anything you want to call the government.
Okay, I will shut down the government.
And I am proud. And I am proud. To shut down the government for border security, because the people of this country don't want criminals that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle.
I just can't believe if you see how uncomfortable, especially Chuck Schumer, especially that anyone thinks that President Trump didn't get the better of these two.
They're not used to negotiating where people are watching.
He does it every day.
They didn't want it.
He does it every day.
They didn't want it.
And the thing is, if you support President Trump, well, that's exactly what I hope you would do. We don't need a person inside source to say it got fiery and such and such said this and such. Everybody denies it actually took place. We actually see it out in front. We actually see nothing to hide. So there's nothing to hide. So I just thought that the president feels instead of wondering what's going to happen. Instead of wondering what's going to happen, Nancy Pelosi was just as aggressive. Only she does it in a more diplomatic, passive-aggressive way. The president goes aggressive. She just sits there and needles and leaves it out there. He does not leave anything out. He does not leave anything out.
They were all in their separate corners. The Democrats feel do not want to build a wall. That's their political position. And they do not want to give the President of the United States a win on this, which is curious because when you roll back the tape, we're going to show you a little montage of some prominent Democrats over the last couple of years. They were actually what the president is for before they became not wanting to give him a win. Watch this.
I voted numerous times when I was a senator to spend money to build a barrier to try to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in. And I do think you have to control your borders.
An illegal alien should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally. The American people will never accept immigration unless they truly believe that their government is committed to ending future illegal immigration. illegal immigration.
Because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we cannot allow people to pour into the U.S. undetected, undocumented, and unchecked.
You know, they say the president said some things that they don't think were accurate. For Senator Schumer to say that he is not for the wall, that he is not for the wall. What changed from 2009 to 2018? The situation has only got worse. And for those people who say it's being inflated, we have some video in Tijuana to show.
Well, what changed was,
so make them answer that. So make them answer that.
Republican was elected. Right. I wish he would have said that. Right. I wish he would have said that to them.
Why did you say this?
Well, listen, around the world. Well, listen, there are a number of countries that have walls, and we have the Secretary of State sitting right next to Brian a little bit ago, right next to Brian a little bit ago, and he says, we need the wall. Watch.
This is a real national security issue for the United States of America, so the United States of America, so it shouldn't surprise you that the State Department is involved. Trying to make sure that we do what the President said, which is to have control. We have to have the capacity to control entry into our country, everywhere, airports and ports. But most importantly today at the southern border, and a wall is a vital component. We should do all the things we need to do to control into our country in a way that is lawful.
Who else has an issue? Brazil has an issue. Brazil has an issue because Colombia has an issue because people of Venezuela and these other countries are pouring into their country. So there's some outrage there. Not that anyone is anything against other countries. They just want to have control who comes in and out. Hungary's an example. As soon as they saw that migrant from the Middle East, they put up a fence immediately. They said we need to control this. Germany did this. Germany did.
The new president of Mexico trying to work out some sort of a deal so that those folks who are close to the border can have asylum in Mexico.
Well, so let's see if Congress does dedicate any money to the wall. And if they do not, don't be surprised if the President of the United States tries to. Heard from the Secretary of State. It's a national security.
So far, the Pentagon spokespeople have said we have not been approached about doing that. Meanwhile, I've approached Jillian about doing the news. She has not answered me yet. She has not answered me yet.
Jillian, I'm waiting patiently. I'm waiting patiently. That's a solid yes.
That's a yes?
All right, we do start with this Fox News alert right now. Theresa May facing a critical vote from office. Could remove her from office. The British Prime Minister is vowing to fight.
A change of leadership in the Conservative Party will put our country's future and create uncertainty when we can least afford it.
Her Conservative Party will vote tonight in light of the Brexit delay. 150 lawmakers say she needs 150. She needs 100 to remain in power. If May loses, she'll have to step down. Police releasing the last video of a missing mother. Kelsey Barrett walking into a Colorado supermarket with her baby daughter on Thanksgiving. Her fiance was the last person to see her when he picked up the baby later that afternoon. A few days later, Kelsey's phone was detected 800 miles away. Her makeup and suitcases all left untouched. Police have not identified any suspects. Well, looks like Beto Mania is running wild. According to a MoveOn.org, Beto O'Rourke is the left's top 2020 presidential candidate. He's narrowly beating Joe Biden by less than 1%. But nearly 18% of people asked said that they either don't know or they want to run, or that they would prefer someone not included on that list of 30 people. So, a Marine thought he was just taking a picture with his family after finishing boot camp. But when he took a closer look at the snapshot, he could not believe his eyes. Jamil Brown shocked to see his girlfriend Javona photobombing his family. He didn't think she could make the trip to Paris Island, South Carolina. Brown surprised her with a proposal. They are both Marines. Looking very happy. So
perfect. Thanks so much, Jillian.
Google CEO was in yesterday denying that his company censors conservatives. Congressman Darrell Issa was in the room to get the was in the room? Is there bias at Google?
Well, there's bias in the outcome. Well, there's bias in the demonstrated time and time again. The question is, it leads to a bias? And it leads to a bias. And that was one of the questions we asked him to go back and look at. If you see outcome, if you see disparity, can you trace it back to find out whether software that can be improved to eliminate that, or whether in fact in some cases it might be a programmer with a little idea of how to give one party or the other an edge.
There's a headline on the editorial page right now. It says Google needs Republicans are too busy screaming about bias. We heard your side talk about bias yesterday, but does Google need to be regulated?
Well, I think the whole question of privacy is a question for evaluation and broad regulation. Remember that every time your phone passes through both cellular signals and Wi-Fi signals, everybody in that network is detecting your MAC address, meaning you're being tracked. Every time you turn on an app, for example, one that tells you when you say I want the nearest restaurant, you're giving up where you are, or it's not going to tell you where the nearest restaurant is. Figuring out what the do's and don'ts are, transparently you and I know whether we're getting tracked or not, and we're getting a service for it. More importantly, having transparency within the system is important, and we're not getting it right now. Yesterday was a down payment.
Real quick exit question, though. Regarding bias, does Google have their thumb on the scale?
Google needs to really soul search independently with those outcomes and see where the problem is coming from, because there is a problem. There's been plenty of examples. But I think we have to eliminate the idea that it's willful bias, and instead look how these outcomes come that way. And that's what he was charged to do yesterday, and said he would go back and look at.
If he makes a return appearance.